There is a kind of poverty that wealth cannot touch. It belongs to the man who has filled every room of his house and left no space in his mind. Who has acquired everything the market offers and examined none of it. Who moves through experience the way light moves through glass, passing through without catching, without changing the angle, without leaving any particular impression on either side. He has had a great deal happen to him. He has possessed almost none of it. Seneca's argument about philosophy is not what most people expect when they hear the word. Philosophy, in the modern imagination, has become either an academic specialty or a category of self-help, something you study in school or dip into when you need better habits. Seneca means something different. He means the practice of asking, with full seriousness and sustained attention, what a human life is for. What constitutes a good one? How to live in full awareness of one's situation, including the situation of being mortal, of being limited, of having only so much time and no more. This is not a leisure activity or an intellectual hobby. It is the foundational work of being a person, and it is work that almost no one does. Of all men, Seneca writes, they alone are at leisure who make time for philosophy. This is a provocative claim, and it is worth sitting with before dismissing it. He is not saying that philosophers are idle. He himself was never idle. He is saying that the person who has made wisdom the organizing pursuit of their life is the only person who actually possesses their time, because they are the only person who knows what time is for. Everyone else is, in some sense, borrowing. The ambitious man borrows his values from his culture and calls them his own. The busy man borrows his schedule from his obligations and calls it his life. The pleasure seeker borrows his satisfactions from the market and calls them happiness. None of them have stopped long enough to ask whether what they are doing with their hours reflects anything they have actually chosen, with full knowledge of the alternatives and clear understanding of what is at stake. The philosopher, as Seneca defines the term, is not someone with credentials. It is someone who has made the examined life a practice rather than an aspiration. Who returns, regularly, to the foundational questions: what do I actually value? How do I want to die? What kind of person am I becoming, and is that the kind I intend to become? These questions are uncomfortable. They do not have clean answers. But the practice of asking them, genuinely and over time, is what Seneca believes constitutes the real extension of a life, not extra years, but extra depth within the years you have. And here is where Seneca makes his most startling claim: those who study philosophy inherit time that is not even biologically theirs. They have access to the past, not just their own past, but the accumulated thinking of every human being who has ever worked to understand how to live. When you read Marcus Aurelius in his private moments of self-examination, when you encounter Epicurus on the nature of desire, when you sit with Seneca himself in his letters to Lucilius, you are not merely reading historical documents. You are participating in a conversation that extends backward through millennia, a long and ongoing human project of working out what matters. This is an extraordinary gift, if you choose to receive it. Most people live only in the present, not the rich, full present of genuine attention, but the narrow present of immediate concern, bounded at both ends by the unexamined. They do not have access to the thought of the dead, because they have not made time for it. The past, for them, is simply gone. But for those who study, the past is alive. Zeno is available. Socrates is available. The long tradition of people who spent their lives asking the hardest questions is available, right now, waiting on the shelf or in your hands. What would it mean to take that seriously? To understand that you are not starting from scratch, that the problems you face in living a good life have been faced before by people of extraordinary intelligence and have been thought through with patience and rigor. That you have, in some sense, free access to a library of human wisdom that most of your ancestors could not have imagined, and that most of your contemporaries are choosing not to use. Seneca is not being elitist about this. He is not saying that only certain people can access philosophy or that you must have particular credentials or leisure or privilege. He is saying something more democratic and more urgent: this resource exists, it is available, and the decision to use it or ignore it is entirely yours. And the consequences of that decision are measured in the quality and depth of your life. The man who does not examine how to live will live by accident. He will absorb his values from his environment without scrutiny. He will pursue goals he has never chosen, by paths he has never questioned, toward a destination he has never actually imagined. And he will arrive somewhere, he will always arrive somewhere, but the somewhere will not necessarily be where he would have chosen, and by the time he notices the discrepancy, many of the turns are behind him. The alternative is not certain or easy. Philosophy does not give you a map. It does not tell you what job to take or whom to love or where to live. What it gives you is something more fundamental, the habit of asking, the tolerance for uncertainty, the ability to distinguish between what you actually believe and what you have simply inherited. These are the faculties that allow a life to be actually lived rather than merely undergone. And then there is the extension of time itself, not metaphorically, but in terms of what you can hold. The person who has engaged with great thought can locate their own experience within a much larger frame. Their joys have context. Their losses have company. Their questions have a lineage. They are not alone in their confusion, not isolated in their mortality. They belong to something that extends beyond the biographical, the long, unfinished human effort to understand what it means to be here at all. That membership, freely available, is what Seneca calls the only true leisure. Not the absence of effort, but the presence of meaning in every effort made. Omnia aliena sunt, tempus tantum nostrum est. Everything belongs to others. Time alone is ours. That was episode 5 of our Seneca series, on the shortness of life. Philosophy is not a retreat from the world. It is the only way to truly enter it, with clarity, with purpose, with the weight of all human wisdom behind you. In episode 6, we confront Seneca's most unsettling idea, that most people are not really alive at all. Subscribe to StoicForge so you don't miss it. Like this video if Seneca made you think. This is StoicForge. Ancient wisdom. Modern edge.